අනවශ්‍ය ප්‍රශ්නෙට මේ කාලේ නාස්ති කරන්නේ නැතුව ඔව් ඔබතුමාට අවස්ථාව දුන්නා ඔබතුමාට අවස්ථාව දුන්නා නැති ප්‍රශ්නයක් මෙතන හැදුවා කරුණාකරලා ඔබතුමා ඉදිරියට කරගෙන යන්න
Honorable Speaker, can you
හරි බොහොම ස්තුතියි බොහොම කරුණාකරලා ওই දෙකම නතර කරන්න
Honorable Speaker, I would like to raise a privilege issue in this House. Under the Parliament Powers and Privilege Act, sir, can you... So I can't hear anything.
කරුණාකරලා ඔබතුමාලා දෙන්නම ඉඳගන්න සභාවේ ගෞරවය රැකගෙන ඔය නිමල් ලංසමන්තුමා ඔබතුමා කරුණාකරලා ඉඳගන්න ඔබතුමා කරුණාකරලා ඉඳගන්න මේ ශානක්‍යන් රාසපුත්තුමා ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන්න.
So under the Parliament Powers and Privilege Act, Section 32, Part B, Schedule 4, I would like to raise a privilege issue. On that it states assaulting, insulting or willfully obstructing any member in Parliament, in committee or in the precincts of Parliament. Sir, on the 25th of April 2023, I was on my feet. I was trying to raise an issue that was relevant to Batticaloa. Whilst I was trying to raise that issue, sir, I was not allowed to raise that issue because the relevant cabinet minister did not wish to respond to it. However, whilst the relevant minister didn't want to respond to it, the cabinet minister who spoke after the relevant minister that I raised the question to referred to me as a Kotiya and a Jativadiya. Honorable Manusha Nanayakkara, the Cabinet Minister for Foreign and Labour Employment, called me a Kotiya and Jativadiya, and that comment and statement coming from Honorable Manusha Nanayakkara, I am not very surprised. But however, sir, I am in shock that the Honorable Minister in charge of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Ali Sabri, let me quote from his speech. He said, in this Parliament, I raised Sri Lankan issues. That is how I am, sir. In my opinion, Batticaloa, district of Batticaloa is part of Sri Lanka. So when I raise the issue relating to Batticaloa, that is related to Sri Lanka. He goes on to say that I am a mark of division and that I am a communalist, and the Honorable Foreign Minister says, I endorse what they are saying. That is pointing towards Manusha Nanayakkara, who called me a racist and a Kotiya. And he goes on to say, I endorse what they are saying. You are a communal politician, but I am not a communal politician. And then he goes on to say, you contested from Rajapaksa camp. I mean, that is no secret, but in 2010 I was 19, I didn't contest in 2010. After that you took over communal politics. You are a communalist, and he goes on to say another word that is not just unparliamentary language, it's filth, it's utter filth. The minister in charge of foreign affairs, the cabinet minister, has said that. So I would like to put on record that, sir, I am an elected member of parliament from the district of Batticaloa. I got the highest number of preferential votes in Batticaloa for my party. So there's a clear distinction between a nationalist MP and an elected MP. So as an elected MP, sir, I have a responsibility and a duty towards the people who elected me to put their interest at first, as opposed to a nationalist MP who was appointed to represent the interest of one individual. So, sir, I'll wind up my privilege issue, sir. I would like to ask for an apology from the minister in charge for that degradatory word that he used about my including my parents. I would like an apology, and I would also like the Ethics and Privilege Committee to, sir, suspend him from Parliament for a period of 2 weeks at least, because, sir, why I say this is because Minister has said that I raise Sri Lankan issues. This is my priority. I would like to put this final point on record, sir, that raising Sri Lankan issues in this Parliament is not the precinct to being a Sri Lankan. I have always raised national issues, but I have not brought in laws to please the person who gave me the opportunity to come to Parliament by, such as the 20th Amendment to the Constitution, and also I was not the Minister in charge of Justice, where section of the Sri Lankan citizens were burnt and they were denied their final rights to final rights while they were cremated. So therefore, sir, I let that to the people of Sri Lanka to decide who is representing Sri Lanka and who is representing their masters who gave a nationalist on charity to their council. Thank you, sir.
ප්‍රධාන වැඩ කටයුතු ආරම්භයේ පනත් කෙටුම්පත් Yes, Honorable Minister.
Well, Speaker, it's very important that I answer this. Honorable Chanakyan showed the world there is a champion of Tamil cause, and he has stood during the time of grave dangers done to the Tamils during the war. But in 2015, I have the posters, he contested from the Rajapaksha camp. He wanted to ride on the popularity of the Rajapakshas and win the electorate. He was defeated. He got 3,000 votes. All of a sudden, from nowhere, now he become a crusader against the Rajapakshas. What is this? Chief electoral politics to divide people, rouse trouble of communalism and win elections. I can do it today. If I get into the street and say something against the Sinhalese people, Muslims will vote for me. If I get into the Sinhalese camp and blast the Tamils, Sinhalese will vote for me. There are people doing it. I will never do that. I will go home. That's not the politics I will do. What I have done for your people, check when. No, I need to give that. Why not? I need to answer when you say something.
No, let him reply.
Listen, please
Let him
listen.
reply.
Why not? When I was appointed as the Justice Minister, when I was appointed as the Justice, no, please listen to me, Mr. Manik. But I had the patience to listen to you. I had the patience to listen to you. Please sit. Answer me. Sir, I must respond to this. When I took over the Justice Minister, check how many Tamils were under detention for PTA. Just check how many Tamils were under detention for PTA. Check that. How many people were detained under PTA for long period of time? I was instrumental in convincing the former president and the current president and gave pardon to more than 27 of them. And I was instrumental in amending the PTA. You voted against it. And I allowed bail in the PTA. Because of that, so many Tamils have got their bail, including one boy who was 20 years behind the bars. That's the politics I do. I don't announce that. I don't announce that. And when the Muslim bodies were buried, my colleagues are here. I took up that 5 times in the cabinet. All of them knows that. My colleagues are here. I openly was against it, but I don't play gallery because it will further divide our communities. I was instrumental in convincing Honorable Vasudeva Nanayaka was there in the cabinet. How many times I took up? You were one of the persons stood with me. We are now in different camps, but you stood with me. That's the point. But I don't come out and say, I raise this, create this. We must create a big issue. What you are trying is put the Muslims and Tamils together against the Muslim, against the Buddhists, against the Sinhalese, and create and do your cheap politics. I will never do that. I'll walk out of this parliament.
Thank you, Honorable
I'll never
Minister.
do that.
Can you
If
please
I have
wind up?
said anything-
Can you please wind up?
Honorable Speaker, yes, I appeared for Rajapakshas and for Gotabaya Rajapaksa. I'm very proud of, because they led. They may fail in the last 2-3 years because of the sensitive nature of the economic thing, but they played a heroic role in getting rid of terrorism in this country. I will appear, even tomorrow I will appear for them when I go out of it. I'm not going to be here for long. That's not my livelihood like you. I'm a lawyer. I'll go back and I'll practice again. On that day,
Right,
if
please.
any other more heroes who wants to come, I will appear
Now,
for
Honorable
them.
Minister, please wind up.
But having said
Please
so,
wind up.
Honorable Speaker, if I have said any any unparliamentary language,
Yes.
I will apologize.
Right.
I will withdraw that.
Right.
That I did not mean to do that.
That's right.
I love the Tamils, but I don't like communalists.
Thank you very much. Here is Honorable Leader of the Opposition.
Honorable Speaker,
Yeah.
Honorable Speaker,
Yeah.